Yeah, I think obviously when you look at the stats, it's one of those games where you're like, how did you lose? How did you walk away without any points out of the match? And I also think that's the cruelest part about football is that's the reality. Crystal Palace did the same thing on that same weekend with Man City. I also think it's something to be said. One of the biggest things that stood out to us was 20 shots and one on target. And that was a big conversation this week. Was how do we be just a bit more threatening? We felt we had a lot of the ball. We felt like we lived in the opposition's half, which is something that we've talked about here early on. And we thought we created a lot. We just thought we could be more threatening. And then towards the tail end of the game, the reality is the reality, which is there became a lot of urgency seeing the clock and seeing the score. And I think we just started to lack a little bit of composure in that moment, to have urgency and composure kind of intertwined, to be able to obviously get on the scoreboard, get into the match in that sense. But there's a lot of really good takeaways still. A pretty dominant performance, excuse me, in some aspects. But obviously the result wasn't the result that we wanted. So that's the reality of it. And no, we're not pleased about that. So I think if we could take the energy into this week, obviously from, like I said, staying in that half, living in that half takeaway, the key takeaway is it put us in a good position. I feel like people would be talking if we weren't in the half and didn't have 20 shots. And now people are talking because we have 20 shots, we're in the half, but we have one on target. So I think it's all about the narrative around good conversation. And the good conversation is we're disappointed and frustrated because we felt we were dominant and felt like we should have gotten a result. But again, we need to look at the things that we can control, which is we need more shots on target.
Joe, go ahead with your question.
My question is basically around that exact topic, Bev. Angel City has given up the second most goals this season so far, so they're more than happy to concede goals if you can take them. But like last week, 20 shots, one on target, no goals. So
Yeah.
finishing is obviously the issue for racing.
Mm-hmm.
Has that how big of a focus has that been? Have you been running specific drills on that? What's the game plan for just
For
finishing?
sure. For sure. And I think it's all how you define an issue, right? All of a sudden now people are hyper focused on the fact that we did have 20 and 1 and previous games we've gotten results out of the match itself. So I think it's about what you put the narrative around. And for me it's we had a conversation and kind of worked in the final third this week. Looked at in possession how we feel we can get to the half, and then the relationships, building the relationships, emphasizing the assist zone entries that we want from every match. 35% of goals for Angel City are given up on set pieces, and 31% of their goals are given up in transition, 10% in run of play. So it tells you that attacking set pieces, we need to be clean. And it also tells you that attacking transition, we need to be clean because they will give up opportunities. So it's based around how we're prepping for the game, where we see their threats are. Obviously, they have one of the best forwards, in my opinion, in the league and in best form currently. And it's all about how we prep for their threats and where we feel opportunity could be present.
What kind of challenges does the long trip out west present to the team?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's always a big travel, isn't it? It's a big travel, it's time change. We've tried to be very um ahead of things, having Rose, our nutritionist, come in and talk about sleep shifts, snacks, when to eat, how it would correlate to the time zone, how to get us kind of on a schedule in relation to that. So yeah, I think there's just a lot of pieces that go into it, and everybody knows this travel is some of the most difficult travel in any league. The country's so massive, so it just presents a large travel, and your body's getting used to the time shift.
Any other questions from you, Joe?
No, off the top of my head.
Uh, Bev, one for me about the international call-ups that we've seen this week. Emma, Janine, and Ari all announced as being called up for the next international window. Could you just give us a thought on each of those three players and what an important thing it is for you guys as a club to have senior international players on your team?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for Ari, obviously, it's been really exciting for her to get back in. Obviously, she hasn't been available for matches due to the suspension. She's continued to grind and work hard at training, and has done really, really well. And for Ange obviously getting called in for Colombia and continuing to represent her country, has been a really big deal for us. She's very professional, does her job to her best of her ability every single day, is very professional with her attitude. Obviously, she hasn't seen a lot of minutes for us, but I've been continually impressed with her professionalism. and her work ethic every single day. Emma, obviously really exciting for her. Big year last year, getting into the national team during that time frame, an opportunity to get back now, and second year in the NWSL. So really, really high future for her. We fully believe. And then Janine's been, fantastic, has represented Canada for so long now, and has been such a staple in this league. So yeah, just very happy for her, and her continued opportunity to represent her country. I know she, as they all do, they love the opportunity to represent their country. And so we're very happy for them, very pleased for them.
Go ahead, Joe, with your next question.
Hey, on that subject, I don't know if you'll want to answer this or not, but I'm going to ask it. What do you think Taylor Flint needs to do to get a look for the national team?
Yeah, look, I think she did. Look, I don't want to dive into too much on this topic. What I'd say is that if it seems as though they have shown, if you do well for club and you're of interest from a profile perspective, they are bringing players in. I mean, Lola Bonta, right? First call up for the U.S. national team, has done really well for her club for years, but obviously since the Emma Hayes takeover, and since she's come in, how she's continued to progress with club, has gotten her the call up. So I think if she just, continues to grind and focus on being the best that she can be, yeah, I don't know the details to it from a selection process standpoint, but I definitely think that they're showing, if you're playing well for club, they are giving opportunity.
I know it's not a terribly fair question, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
And then for me, Bev, I was looking at the schedule, and I know it sounds crazy, but I think there are only 4 games left before the July break. So in terms of where you are in the season and gathering momentum and that kind of thing, how do you view where the team is right now with only a few games to go before you'll have that month-long break in July?
Yeah, look, I think every game's massively important in this league. I think if you look at it as, oh, well, this is the one that we really have to get right before this break. This is the next one that we really have to get right. I mean, there's several games you're going to look back, right? I still every now and then, it's no secret, I'm looking back at Portland going, shit, man. That's the reality of it. That's the reality of football, and that's the reality of life. You can't go back. You can only prepare for what the future holds, and you have to take it game by game. If you look at it in any other way, especially in this league, how chaotic it is, how competitive it is, and you put extra pressure on games that you feel have a bigger impact or bigger meaning, it's for me, it's never the way that I like to look at it. You have to take it game by game, and you just have to know every single game in this league, it means something. Obviously the results fully on the match itself, but there's no such thing as like games that you're maybe gonna less prepare for, or they mean a little bit less every single game right now. This league's too competitive to not have big meaning outside of like a break, anything like that.
And then last one for me, unless anybody else has questions. Aaron Wright, Gilly, 15,000 career minutes, assuming
Yes.
she plays, I think it's 58 minutes this week.
Okay.
What kind of milestone is that for her for you as a player who played in this league? It seems like
Yeah.
a significant number of minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Very veteran player. Has been in the league for a very long time, has seen the league progress in so many ways, and has been a part of that from an on-field perspective. Playing different positions, but specifically across the back line. Just happy that she gets to be in her home state for such an achievement. And yeah, very happy for her. It's a massive achievement in this league. And as I just spoke about the competitiveness of the league. So yeah, we're very happy for her to reach that milestone.
And it sounds like Joe has one more. Go ahead, Joe.
One more, sorry, Bev.
Okay.
Before the season started, I know that one of the goals that you had stated for the team this year was to earn 10 points on the road. You've already
Mhm.
earned 7 by my count this early in the season, so doing pretty well on the road. Can you just speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so it's actually double digits on the road. And yeah, I think for us it was, coming together as a group and really collaborating on what we feel we wanted to achieve this season. And we were displeased last year. We took different things. We've tried different cadences leading into travel. What days off? Is it a day off just to travel? And the travel has a meeting in the morning, but we're actually giving the day off to the players. We've tried different things and different cadences to see kind of techniques to see if it would help us feel a little bit more prepared from a body's perspective, mentality perspective. So yeah, I think we've taken all those different perspectives and opportunities in stride as opportunity for us to accomplish what we would like to this season. So yeah, just taking it day by day.